Brother Brian's order is the one that is invited to speak this year and is going around to all the parishes of our diocese, telling of the work and asking how we can support through prayer and support and encouragement as well. So we welcome Brother Brian here to us today.
Thank you. Good evening. How are you? I suppose after such a tough week, we had a rough old week, I suppose, with the wars, shortage of petrol, roads being blocked. So maybe we'll just come down for a moment and give our heads a little rest. Because there's no doubt about it, as my mother used to say, our heads were addled. So maybe we'll just go from our heads into our heart and take a moment in silence. Just to thank God for the good things He gave us during the week. And maybe the not so good things He gave us. Because very often those not so good things turn out to be blessings as well. So we thank God for all of those. And those readings today, they're really kind of readings that go to our heart and are a very important part of our religion. Because the Gospels and those readings, they cannot be lived in isolation. They can only be lived with our neighbor. And the resurrection, we're celebrating the resurrection. What does the resurrection mean to you? Does it mean anything? Have you thought about it? What is the resurrection? We had a great celebration on Holy Saturday night and a great celebration on Easter Sunday. But what does all that mean to you and to I? What does it mean? Because we're wasting our time if it doesn't mean something to us. And today's Gospel, we see Christ coming and saying to us, "Peace be with you." What does that mean to you when Christ says, "Peace be with you"? Today, Pope Leo is celebrating a day of peace for the world. And the world needs prayers for peace. So in our prayers this evening, we need to send peace out to the world that's hurting. They're hurting from bombs. They're hurting from famine. And people are tired of burying their dead. People have no more tears to shed. And I work with some of those people in Kenya and in Uganda. And it's very hard to explain resurrection, hard to explain peace to those people who have never known peace or have known very little of the peace. And I suppose when Christ said, "I am sending you out," He means you, not just Brian Johnson. He means all of us. So when He sends us out, where does He send us? What does He send us with? Does He send us with a message? He does. A message of kindness, a message of love. Like in the first reading today, a message of brotherhood, a message of prayer, a message of the sacredness of the breaking of bread. So we cannot separate our lives from the readings today, the readings of Scripture. And if we do, then we're hypocrites. When I sit down to eat a fine supper, do I think of some of the people here on this poster who won't get anything today? I remember in Kenya being with a couple of young lads, and we're in the bush and we're passing this fine house that was owned by white people. And one of the young fellas said to the other young fella, he said, "Do you know what?" He says, "Do you know they have food in there every single day?" Imagine. They have food in there every single day. Not everybody gets food every day. And this is when Christ is sending out. He is sending us out to help, whether it's through donation, whether it's through prayer, whatever it is. Jesus said he's sending us out. And I suppose that's what brought me and the other Franciscans to Kenya and Uganda. But I want to tell you a little story because it involves you. Can you see the girl in the wheelchair? Her name is Susan. You see the girl in the wheelchair? Can you see it? If you can't see it from the back, you'll have to go to Specsavers. But that girl, her name is Susan. Now you can see her legs were so deformed. She couldn't even use crutches. And for 23 years, she scrambled on all fours. She would put goat skins or sheep skins on her hands, and then she would just crawl. She's from South Sudan. We don't hear anything in the news about South Sudan and the war. We don't hear anything in the news about Sudan. We don't hear anything in the news about the Congo. And those are the three countries that surround the area where we live and work. When the war came, she scrambled into the forest. Somebody found her, threw her on their back, and she ended up at our house in a place called Adra in northwest Uganda, near the border of Sudan and the Congo. And I remember I came out in the morning and I saw this girl crawling on the ground. Didn't know what it was. So I got down on all fours as well, and she told me the story of her life. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep her. She understood that she couldn't stay with us in the house. We'd love to have kept her. But what we did was, said, "Susan, we'll take you to a refugee camp, and I will find you a wheelchair. We will pray, and we'll find you a wheelchair." And she said, "You will not find any wheelchair. And don't pray to God in this goddamn forsaken, war-torn place." I said, "Susan, we will find a wheelchair. We will get a wheelchair for you." We brought her up to the refugee camp, left her there. A month later, we were able to buy a wheelchair. Up we went to the refugee camp with a wheelchair. Out came Susan out of this camp, the tent she was living in. You wouldn't put a dog into it, but that was her home. That's where she lived. And she scrambled out on all fours. And I'll never forget, she had those flip-flops on her hand, you know those kind of slippers, flip-flops on her hands, crawled out. She saw the wheelchair and she screeched. And she threw her flip-flops in the air and climbed up onto the wheelchair. And of course we were all just so happy for her. So it was time we had to go. It was a long drive home. We had to get home before dark. Before I was leaving, she called me over. She said, "Brian, I have something to tell you." I said, "What is it, Susan?" She said, "Tell the people of your village in Ireland, thank you for giving me legs. Tell the people of your village in Ireland, thank you for giving me life." This evening, You are my village. And maybe you are sitting here this evening and it was you that threw a few euro into our basket. Well, that's where your money went, to give life and legs to Susan, to this girl who now believes in prayer. And prayers for the people, and she prays for the people of my village in Ireland. So I've come to say thank you. Thank you for giving her legs and life. And I wonder if you can continue to help us. See, we're only the postmen, and we're just delivery boys. That's all we are on the missions. We give them what you give us. And you have given us a lot, and we give them a lot. But without you, we can't do it. She would not have had a wheelchair if it was not from the money we got from Ireland that came from a collection box. So thank you so much. But your prayers are as important as is your money. Because prayers go where we can't go. Prayers do things we can't do. Prayers work miracles. You're looking at one. Thank you for your prayers. We don't always thank you enough for your prayers. But thank you for those prayers. They work miracles. And let people know that you carry this peace of Christ in your heart. When you visit someone, just say, peace be with you. So I hope you have a great evening and a wonderful week, and mind yourselves. Take care of each other. Thank you.